Hello, hello, hello. This is your Captain Panic speaking. And welcome on board of another Touchdesigner tutorial. Today we might face some turbulences because we got into a thunderstorm, as you can see in the background. I'm sorry. I just had to do a really bad joke. Couldn't resist. I need to stay true to myself. Welcome back. Have a safe flight and enjoy your journey. In the background you can see what we are going to do today. It's a kind of nice and kind of simple setup I created. It's fully generative, so there's no image input used here. It's based on a SOP and some tops and some audio chops, since this whole setup, or those lightning branches, are reacting to audio. I'm gonna turn the audio on now, and it might be a little bit ugly to hear because of my recording settings, but I hope you won't lose your ears. So let me turn on the audio. And yep, there is nothing to hear right now, and that's because I set my device to headphones. So let me change that. So now you should be able to hear it. Okay, enough about the audio, but you get what I mean. And let's actually get started and see you on my screen. Okay, welcome on my screen. As you can see nothing, and that's because we will start from scratch. So this time we are going to use a pretty complicated SOP, or at least it seems complicated, because as long as you have fun with it and don't overthink it, it's really, really, really nice. Because I found it when I wanted to create those generative branches, or lightning, I don't know how it's called. I found something like L systems. I think it's something based on Lindenmayer systems, or Lindenberg, I don't know. Oh no, Lindenberg is a singer, a German singer. I think it's Lindenmayer. And it's basically pretty complicated, and I won't tell anything about it because I didn't get anything. But it's actually a system which allows you to create generative branches, and I don't need to know more. If you want to know more, just Google L system and you might be a genius and get anything, but I don't. And yeah, I found out that there is a SOP right here under the SOP tab, L system, called L system. So I just had the idea of messing around with it until I get where I want to be. This is my usual approach to do things, like mess up everything and then just find something cool and mess with it even more. And I highly recommend doing that because I came very far with it while still having fun. And I don't have fun reading about physical stuff, so I just mess around with it. And this is exactly what I did with this rules. I said, fuck them rules, and just typed in something. I really can't tell you how I came up with this. I just found out when I changed some variables in this thing, this thing is changing. So I just typed some stuff in here until I got something that looked like a branch. And this is b divided by b divided by b divided by b divided by b. So in the end you have 4 b's and 3 divide signs, and then I just made the viewer inactive, and then I got something that looked like a branch. Yeah, and then I just played around with the settings inside of the SOP. So let me show you what I set up. So first of all, I found out that there's a seed, a random seed, so I just thought, okay, if I change that seed, this branch will change, but nothing happened. And then I found out that I need to change the scale, the randomness scale, which I defined to be 0.09. So it should be pretty close to this one, but a little bit different. So 0.09. And then when I change the seed, it's a kind of different branch every time, but it keeps on the same mood. So yeah, this is what I started to play with. But first of all, I need to make everything visible in the background, because I can't deal with this small rectangle telling me what's happening. So I brought in a transform SOP after this, because it's always handier to change the position or anything inside of a transform and not in here anywhere. So I brought in a transform, which we will keep on default for now and will return to later. And then after it, just a null, and then a geo out of the comp tab. And then in order to make everything visible, make a camera and a light. And then we will use a top render, which we will then connect to a null, which we make visible in the background by hitting this blue display button down here. And now you can see, okay, up here there is our branch, which we don't want up here. So let's go down with the camera a little bit. So, oops, nope. On the y-axis, yeah, maybe on 2 is cool. But you can always adjust in the end. So let's keep it on 2. And also, I want to zoom out a little bit, because I feel like, yeah, we're not seeing our complete thing here. So I just will take that to 12 and go down here even more. So maybe this is cool, maybe 3.5, but whatever you want to see of your lightning branch. And then in our render top, we will change some settings to the resolution. So I'm working with 1920 by 1080, which gives us a better quality. So if you have the Pro Touchdesigner version, I recommend to work with a 4K resolution. It's always nice. Especially because it gives you all the details even better. And also I change the pixel format to 32-bit float. This is not necessary here, but it still gives a better quality. But in case your PC or your laptop is a little bit slower, or you have some frame rate drops, just use something like 16-bit or 8-bit. And it will speed up again. Yeah. Okay. So now we have our lightning here. we have kind of everything we need, and now we just need to animate it. So yeah, but the first thing I want to do is, right now our lightning is a little bit gray, and I want it to be really bright and white. So we need to assign a material to this, and I'm going to use the line material. Just bring it in, drag it on here, palm material, and then you might recognize that it turned even grayer. And this is because in this line material we can define which color our geometry has based on near and far. So the near things are white and the far things are gray, but we want everything white. So just go into line and change the setting to specify line far color off. So we only have our near color, which is still gray, so turn it up to white. And yeah, now our line is a little bit thicker, maybe too thick. I kind of want it to be thinner because lightning is really thin and sharp. So under the setup tab, you can just define the distance near width and width. I can't say that word. I won't. Far near. And when you go down on near to 1 and also here on 1, it turns thinner. So just use a number you like. I decided to go with 1 and 1, but this is up to you. Also, you could do a different color if you like. If you want to have some red lightning, just go for it by changing the color here. So yeah, okay. So now we basically have everything except of a black background, which makes everything easier to see. So just bring in a RGB key in the end, and then you have a black background. Okay. Now let's animate it, and let's animate it based on audio. So first of all, we need an audio file. So you could just load in some cool music you want to use. I'm going to use the audio file in, and it just uses a default audio, which you all know, which is pretty annoying. But if you want to hear it, just bring an audio device out and set your device here. I turn it off now because it disrupts my recording. But we have the audio, and we have an audio device out in case you want to hear everything. So now we want to animate our animation using the kick and the snare. And to detect it, there's a useful thing in the palette, or up here. Under tools, just use the audio analysis, bring it in, and plug in your audio. And then you have this a little bit weird looking kind of control setup, which we don't want. And this is the reason we bring in a select after here. And then it shows everything as a channel. And now you can see we have a kick detection and a snare detection here. And also a rhythm thing. I'm not a musician, so I don't really know what this is. But yeah. So I just want the kick and the snare. So under this select channel names, I hit onto this arrow and select kick detection and snare detection. Yay. Nice. You could also use just one, the kick or the snare, but I found it more interesting to combine both because it makes the lightning even more intense following the music. I kind of enjoyed using both of them. And now I want to combine both of them into one channel. I'm going to use a math for it. So bring in a math. And then just under combine channels, I select add. I think I select that. Yep, I select that. So it just reacts on both, like kick and snare. And yeah, or maybe is it multiply? Nope, it's add. I'm sorry. Everything all right. Okay, and after that add, we want this to count every reaction we have here. So bring in a count and just keep everything on default. So it just should count and change the number here based on kick and snare. So we are going to use this number as our seed, because this number is always a different number. It just counts, and this is exactly what we want for this randomness. So a branch will never be the same, and exactly like this number, it just keeps on counting. So make the viewer active and export it onto our seed of our L system. Chop the reference, and then you can already see now we are changing our branch regarding to sound. Nice. This was the first step, and now we want to add some more movement, because usually a branch is not like this. It's not as dynamic as we want it to be. And for this reason, I brought in this transform, because we are going to use this transform to have different angles, the branches coming from different areas, not just down here. And I just animated our branch, basically. So I did this by bringing in another thing after our count here, which is the speed. And it just tells us the speed of our kick and snare, which is pretty fast right now. But it's pretty good, because lightning is also pretty fast, and this is perfect for it. Some speed for our branches. So let's use this one on every rotation parameter. So just make the viewer active, select rotate, let go, and chop the reference. And now we have some more movement, which is cool, but still our branch is coming from the same direction down here, which we don't want. And for that reason, we are going to animate our camera too, based on the same thing, also the speed. So just use this speed again, go onto the camera, and we are going to animate on the Z axis. So just hold it onto here, chop the reference, and now our camera is moving. We have our branch coming from different directions. It's fucking with my eyes and maybe also yours, but this is exactly what we need right now. And now we will cool everything down, because no thunderstorm is as crazy as this. And if it is, it's really make sure you're safe. So let's make sure to calm everything down, and this is what we will do in our top setup. So now we are done with chops and sobs, thank the Lord, and then just tops now. So after that render, bring in a level, because we want our branches to blink now. And for this, we are going to use I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just going to use one, like the kick detection. And we'll make this active, choose the kick, and on the level, we will export it onto the opacity, chop the reference, and now it just blinks up whenever there's a kick. So we just don't have our branches there every time, and it just boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Perfect. And now let's go on with slowing it down even more and giving our branches a little glow. And we will do that by bringing in a small feedback loop after that level. So just make a comp, set the operation mode to add, make a feedback, connect it here, make this one the target layer. Now we are recording our branches, nice, which we want to disappear. So bring in a level, set the opacity to 0.95. Oops, I had my shift activated, so 0.95. And then also I want it to turn black a little bit faster, so I also brought up the black level on pre to 0.02. And now let's bring in some glow by inserting a blur. And in this blur I just cranked it up to 32. Filter size, but I also brought down the sample steps to 0.5. And now we have a little bit of a glow, as you can see. And also it feels a little bit more like real lightning. Yeah, so this is the setup, and now we want to have some cool effects to this, which feel a little bit more real, or I kind of feel when I see a lightning, it just doesn't disappear that fast, it just leaves tracks on my eyes because I get kind of blinded. And that's why I kind of had the idea in the palette to bring in a RGBA delay, because it just leaves that delay I have on my eyes. I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but on the image filters there's the RGBA delay, one of my favorite filters from the palette, which I'm just going to plug in, connect here, and then it's just this feeling I feel when I see branches of lightning. Also it's more nice and more visual pleasing to have this different colors in here and everything. So I really enjoy this look. And also I kind of want it to be even more glowing. So I also brought in the bloom from the image filters. This is no magic I'm doing here, I'm just playing around with filters. Which I highly recommend you to do too. And under this I just change the threshold to null, and on the intensity you can play around with more glow, less glow. You could also use, I don't know, different colors like red or green or whatever you enjoy. I kind of like the bluish ones. And yeah, basically that's it. That's the setup I made, which I wanted to show. It's actually kind of simple and fun to use, especially it's really nice on techno music or music that is feeling a little bit crazy, and it's perfect for this animation because it's really getting reactive and feeling kind of immersive when doing that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I really recommend to just mess around with different sobs and tops in Touchdesigner. You don't need to get everything. Of course it's cool to get everything, but it's also cool to just mess around and have fun and play. And without having fun and playing around, I would never have found this L system. So just mess around with all those tops and sops and chops and whatever everything is. It's so many things. Just do it and stay creative and have fun. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will come back the next time, and I hope you're good. Stay creative, stay kind, and bye bye.